fallout, smoke, women crying for their sons because their sons are not, Romans killing riotous groups that are rising up. Free Judea, free our people, autonomy for Israel. You had Herod, an Edomite, and his dynasty. Herod's ruling, killing any potential threat, any potential Messiah. Then you had the Pharisees and the Sadducees that we learn from Josephus are not Jews by birth. No.
Brothers and sisters, they are there. We are not lost. We are scattered. We are original Hebrew.
Let's go! All praises be to the Most High God. Yeah, I say it. Right? Now look at these. Yeah, I'm telling you, I gotta show y'all. A picture speaks 1,000 words. Just look for yourself. And this is the creme de la creme. All praises be to the Most High Yah. Everything we've been through, y'all, the Most High is going to retribute it on all the nations that have had a hand in the oppression of his apple, the apple of his eye, his chosen people, his beloved, his fervent lover, his only begotten. They're going to have their part in the lake of fire. You see them tormented by some kind of creature. I don't even know what that even is, y'all. Judgment in chains. He that led into captivity shall go into captivity. All praise to the Most High Yah. What's up, Zion Dynasty? This is your boy, the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. JB Zion. Y'all show me some love. Show me some love. Yoruba Benai Ephraim of the tribe of Joseph, of the seed of Jacob, i.e. your favorite dreaded Israelite, where we dropping history, we dropping DNA, we going into the 12 tribes. Welcome to Zion Dynasty. First, I want to say shalom, peace, love, blessings, black power to all my Israelite brothers and sisters. I also want to extend a warm greeting to all my Gentile brothers and sisters, those that are not with the business, those that support Israel, the Most High Yah's chosen people. I love y'all so much. Y'all just don't understand the love that we're getting, y'all. I could not do any of this without the grace of the Most High Yah, without his truth, and without the support of you guys. You guys make it possible for Zion Dynasty to go to the four corners of the earth and teach the diaspora that we're not Crayola colors. We're not two continents slapped together like a lonely sandwich. We are, in fact, the biblical descendants of the children of Israel. Deuteronomy 28, Joel chapter 3, the Bible prophecies, the DNA evidence, the archaeology, the oral tradition, all points to us. And this is the channel where we're going to deal with it. And today, I got another banger for you guys. All praise to the Most High Yah. So in today's video, this is actually going to be a precursor video to a new series we're going into, y'all. And this has been much requested. Shout out to my brother T Turner. Shout out to so many Israelites that have been talking about Esau. Well, who is Esau? Is he the Arab? Is he the white man? Well, how did a mother give birth to a black and a white twin? They both were twins. We're gonna deal with Esau, y'all, because now that we know that we're Israel, now that we have Harvard sources like Tudor Parfit, Cambridge sources like African Zion, Oxford sources like Edith Bruder's book, now that we have the oral tradition of the Yoruba people themselves that is attested to by Cambridge sources, Ulysses Santa Maria, Harvard places E1B1A, in the land of Israel, my true ancestry shows our DNA in Spain, the Sephardic Jews. It's so much evidence now, y'all. So now we need to know who is our chief nemesis, right? When you look through scripture, Esau, Edom, has always been the vein of Israel's existence. Edom has always had this perpetual hatred towards God's people. And there is a people, Zion, that lead the nations and keeping our people destroyed. This sounds, I know a lot of y'all like, oh no, JB, you talking about some conspiracy theory. Y'all hear me out. There is a chief ethnicity in the earth. And when I say ethnicity, it's a fluid concept, because Esau has mixed his seed with a lot of different people. That's why I understand how a lot of our people think the Arabs are Esau. Now, are some of those pale-skinned Arabs Esau? Absolutely. But Esau has hidden himself. But the Bible tells us that Edom is the arch nemesis of Israel. that Edom would be in the last days. The scripture says in 2nd Esdras, let's look at it. In 2nd Esdras chapter 6, it says, for Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of the world to come. So what we see right now with all these wars, we got Russia on the scene, we got China. The Most High is about to execute vengeance on all the nations. The Bible we just saw in 2nd Esdras lets us know that the last empire that will be ruling the earth before Yeshua's return would be Esau, would be Edom, right? The book of Obadiah describes Esau. Let's go through the book of Obadiah. So now let's look at the book of Obadiah, shall we? So in Obadiah, it's only one chapter. We're going to start at the first verse. The vision of Obadiah. Thus saith the Lord Yah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Most High Yah, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. So the Most High is letting you know that there is going to be a war, the war of Armageddon, where the Most High executes vengeance against Esau and all those nations that we talked about in Psalms 83 that have conspired to keep Israel destroyed, to keep our people in a perpetual slavery in our minds, have destroyed our history, have whitewashed the images of the saints. God is going to rise up, the Most High Yah, in battle against Esau. Let's keep reading. So, behold, I have made thee small among the heathen, yet you are greatly despised. The pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwells in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? So, y'all, it gets deep now. Now, y'all, let's break this down. It said, thou that dwells in the clefts of the rock. Whoa, I know a lot of y'all know about the Caucasus Mountains. Let's just let the word speak. Let's go to verse 4. Though you exalt yourself as the eagle, and though you set thy nest among the stars. If you guys are familiar with Neil Armstrong, in 1969, when Esau landed on the moon, check this out. Neil Armstrong said the eagle has landed.
Tranquility Base here. The eagle has landed.
Now look at Bible prophecy validating the Most High knows who this people is. And they set their nest in the stars. Jeff Bezos and his initiative to be able to colonize other planets, right? The image is the eagle. So you have this Caucasus people that dwell in the clefts of the rock, that exalt themselves as the eagle, that set their nest in the stars, and that will be the last ruling great empire nation before the coming of Christ. Who does this people sound like? So I'm just teasing y'all a little bit. We're gonna deal with Esau. We're gonna deal with these prophecies. We're gonna deal with Eliphaz. We're gonna deal with his grandson. We're gonna deal with the Chittim people, the book of Jasher. We're gonna deal with ancient Rome. We're gonna deal with who is Esau and who is this last great empire. Wink, wink. Well, I ain't gonna spoil it. So, but in today's video, this is gonna be a prelude to our entire Edomite Esau series, right? It's gonna take me a couple of videos to be able to go through all that history, you guys, so bear with me. So, in today's video, we're gonna talk about our boy Hitler. Now, I hope to the Most High Yah that they don't pull this video, y'all, because it might get labeled anti-Shemitic and a lot of different stuff. They have tried to come against our people. To know those that rule over you is to know the devil the Bible speaks of. Because when you start talking about them Ashkenazi Jews, Nick Cannon, Whoopi Goldberg, that just happened, right? Deshaun Jackson, they start coming for us, right? But I gotta tell the truth, y'all. I built this channel on keeping it straight and just preaching God's word, the Most High Yah, and not being afraid of man. So I gotta tell the truth, y'all. So, those Ashkenazi Jews have a monopoly on anything having to do with Jewry or anti-Semitism if you start talking about them. But we're gonna deal about it. Because Hitler, Adolf Hitler, knew the devilish ways of this people. He knew, I'm just gonna keep it straight, that these Ashkenazi Jews had a spirit of monopolizing everything, monopolizing, controlling nations with their global banking systems. We're gonna talk about it. So he exposed this people for who they were. And some scholars believe that is why he initiated the Holocaust. Now, we saw what Deshaun Jackson said. I'm gonna put that on the screen for you guys. He said that Hitler was talking to one of his soldiers and said that when the world finds out who the true Jews are, that World War III is gonna pop off, right? When the nations find out that they have sold God's people, they have stolen the jewels of God, and if only God's people knew who they were, the global conspiracy of the Jews cannot operate. Now, I know a lot of y'all have seen this quote. I have searched for this original quote and have not been able to find it from a scholarly source. But what I have found is something very close to it. I'm gonna show you guys. Now, this book right here, and y'all, when I show y'all these books, you got to get on Amazon to get them. Let me show you the title. I'm gonna put it on the screen for you guys. But the name of the book is by Robert Edwin Herstein. Robert Herstein. Herstein is Herzstein. And the name of the book is The Nazis, right? So on Amazon, search The Nazis by Robert Herstein, Herzstein, right? And it should look like this. In this book, Hitler describes the origins of the ancient Israelites. He says where the original Jews came from in this book. Now, I believe a lot of these sources about World War III and that kind of thing is linked to this information, y'all. Hitler knew who the true people of Yah are and were. He knew this. Now, let me show you guys another source. Now, we talked about Professor Tudor Parfit in his work, Black Jews of Africa and the Americas, which is a Harvard source that talks about the Yoruba, the Igbo, the Ashan. It talks about a lot of West African Jewry. But this is another work by Dr. Tudor Parfit, Hybrid Hate. It just recently dropped, maybe within the last year or two. In this book, you guys, he talks about the link between anti-Semitism and black people. Understand that from the beginning, it was the anti-black and the anti-Semitic sentiment were the same. This is the argument that he's proposing, and he's using this book to defend it. And if you look at the cover of the book, you see, I don't know if you guys can catch it all the way, but you see a Negro, the ones that are black. Then you see the Jews that are portrayed with the stereotypical nose. But then you see, y'all look closely, you see a black person that has the stereotypical nose and is a Negro. Now I got to shout out to Dr. Tudor Parfit because he's putting his neck on the line and he's trying to talk about these issues in a subtle way. What he's saying is at one point that it was believed that the Jewish people had black blood, that the Jews may have been persecuted because they had these pseudoscientists that said that even though they're white, they have black blood, and they had different tests to be able to test this stuff. But basically, Tudor Parfit is saying, wink, wink, the origin of the Jewish people is Negro. And this is the same thing that Robert Herstein goes through in his book about the Nazis. Now, I'm gonna put that on the screen for y'all so you can read it yourself, right? So let's turn to that page, shall we? So, on page 124 of the book called The Nazis by Robert Herstein, he talks about the Jews being to blame for a lot of things. Now, I'm gonna do when I talk about Esau, I'm gonna go through this history, but basically, the Jews created the universal banking system, the big banks, like the Federal Reserves. And every nation that they would go to, they would set up these Federal Reserves where they would issue out money at astronomical interest rates, right? Now, it's a lot of history, but the Federal Reserve of America is run by the Jews. I repeat, the Federal Reserve that prints out the money in America is run by Ashkenazi Jews. There has been a long line of different Jews. I'm not sure which one runs it currently. I think it's a female, I forget her name. But the entity that prints out our money is actually run by Ashkenazi Jews. But this is not just limited to America. during the time of the ancient Rothschild family. The Rothschilds sent, or I forget the forefather's name, but he sent his children to different countries and explained to them how to do banking, right? How to set up these banks, how to do these interest rates, and how to then control all the economics of these nations. So when I hear people say, well, it's not a black or white thing, it's a green thing. When you know the history, the war between Jacob and Esau has become also a money thing, because our people tend to be at the bottom of socioeconomics, and the Rothschilds, the Ashkenazi Jews, are the big bank mobsters, right? When you look at all these Federal Reserves, y'all look into it for yourself. We're gonna go into more detail. I'm just trying to throw it out there for you guys. The big banks are run by the Ashkenazi Jews. Not just that, but a lot of your big CEO corporations, when you look at Google, when you look at YouTube, when you look at Facebook, a lot of these are run by these Rothschild Ashkenazi Jews. How do I know that? Y'all look it up for yourself. When I was doing a lot of these videos, I found out something peculiar. When I tried to do my Limba Jews video, they kept hitting it with copyright. And I looked at the network that was hitting it with copyright, and it was A&E Networks. And then also, when I did my Black Wall Street video, A&E Networks also hit that with copyright. So I said, who is this A&E Networks? When I looked up A&E Networks, it is funded by a female Ashkenazi Jew. Now, the A&E Network is kind of deep, you guys. Also owns rights to the History Channel. I think Disney does a collaboration with them. But basically, a lot of companies, more than what y'all realize, are run by this Ashkenazi Jew people. Now, Revelation chapter 2 verse 9 and Revelations 3 verse 9 says that there would be a group of people that call themselves Jews but are not, but are the synagogue, the family of Satan. Now this gets into the whole Khazarian thing about these Edomites that converted to Judaism. Now this started way during the time of Yeshua. When you look at the Pharisees, a lot of the Pharisees, according to Josephus, were not Jews by birth. It gets deep, you guys. When you look at Judas Iscariot, it's deep, you guys. Esau's borders, if you look at a map, were close to Judah. You had the northern kingdom, which was Israel and their territory. Below them was Judah, the southern kingdom, and then below them was Amalek or Esau. So they bordered Judah. There were a lot of Edomites that lived in the land of Judea. History says Judas was one of them. Not just him. Herod and the entire Idumean family, Herod's children and descendants, the Herodian dynasty, Agrippa, all of these were Edomites. A lot of the Pharisees and Sadducees, they were not Jews by birth. This is why Christ says you are whitewashed sepulchres. You are of your father the devil. Now I'm gonna do a lot into this stuff, but I'm just letting you guys know that this Esau, Edomite family were known to be converts even during the time of Christ. This is how the Khazars got into converting in 645 AD. And this is where Germany was trying to fight this thing. Hitler was trying to figure out a way to keep these Rothschilds, these Ashkenazi Jews, from having a stranglehold on Germany. A lot of countries during that time said, well, we don't want y'all to come in here. Even Napoleon tried to fight against it initially. He said, we don't want y'all Jews to come over here and have a monopoly over our nation where we have to answer to y'all. And even the president or the Tsar or the leader of the country doesn't have say so, because he who controls the money controls the nation. And this is how these Ashkenazi Jews got down. So this goes into why Hitler did what he did. But not just that, y'all. Let's keep looking. So y'all, I'm gonna warn y'all, this is where it gets deep. On page 132 of The Nazis by Robert Herstein, y'all get the book off Amazon before they pull it. It says, in one segment of a Nazi instructional film, the genetic heritage of the Jew is purportedly traced to Oriental or Asian, Negro, Near Asian, and Hamitic people. Hence, the film concludes the Jew is a bastard. Y'all, we're gonna deal with this. It's a lot in there. The Roman historian Tacitus believed that the Jews were of an Ethiopian origin. We've already gone through the Bible being an African book. Our people sojourned in Africa through various periods. Abraham went during the time of the famine. Isaac went during the time of the famine. Jacob and all the patriarchs went when Joseph was sold into Egypt. Joseph blended in into Egypt where his brothers couldn't recognize him. Moses was raised in Pharaoh's house when Pharaoh was trying to destroy the Hebrews. Paul was mistaken as an Egyptian. Christ went into Egypt to hide from Herod the Edomite, which is the red dragon in Revelation that sought to kill the woman with the man-child. Y'all gotta understand, our people had strong Hamitic Ethiopian backgrounds. But when you look at what Hitler's saying, he's saying the Jews have a Asiatic, Shemitic, Negro, right, Hamitic ethnic mixture. We are an Asiatic, African, Shemitic people. This is where the Moors got that from. Now, they didn't get it from Hitler, but our people already knew that the ancient Moabites, the ancient Chinese people, the Afro-Asiatics, this lineage is predominant in King David's lineage himself. This stuff is deep, y'all. So he concludes that the Jews of that time period are bastards because they don't have a father lineage that goes back to these Israelites. Understand, Hitler knew who the true Jews were. The nations knew. And this is why they came against those Rothschilds. This is why they came against those Ashkenazi Jews, because they hid behind the guise of being Yah's chosen people to be able to establish monopolies of monies in various countries so that when wars popped off, they had to answer to the Jews. The Jews financed the wars. There would be no wars without them. And it's a lot of history that goes into Esau having this dominance, but you have to go all the way back to the book of Jasher with Eliphaz and his son, all descendants from Esau that ended up in Europe, that also ended up in Canaan. So with that, you guys, I just want to show y'all that Hitler did know who the true Israelites were. That quote that we have today that Deshaun Jackson talked about, that Nick Cannon and a lot of these celebrities are talking about, they're saying that it can't be found anywhere, and they're saying that it can't be fact-checked, but there is scholarship that you see where the breadcrumbs come from. Hitler knew that these people were monopolizing the earth because the scripture says Esau is the end of the world, but Jacob is the beginning of that which follows. This Edomite European family would rule the earth, and to the kingdom without end, the world without end, and to Zion, the beloved, is raised up in captivity, and we eventually get the victory by the Mashiach and are placed back in our land, and we rule world without end. So with that, y'all, peace, love, blessings. We're going to go into a lot more detail on Esau, a lot of this history. So y'all get an Apocrypha. If you don't have a copy of an Apocrypha, let me get it. You guys get yourself an Apocrypha. So family, get these books, get all this literature. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the books that I'm gonna be drawing from when we do our Esau series. When we go into the history of Edom, when we trace them all the way back from Esau in the Bible, all the way to the Romans, all the way to the modern Europeans and the Rothschilds and all that stuff. So get this book, Arthur Koestler's 13 Tribe. He is an Ashkenazi Jew. This was on the Jerusalem bestsellers list for a while, you guys, where this Ashkenazi Jew talks about how the modern Jews today have no ties to the biblical Israelites. And they will tell you that. Most of them don't claim to be Israel. Most of them say that they, are practicing Jews. Their foremothers have practiced Judaism. Also, get this book, Who is Esau Edom by Charles Wiseman, right? So Arthur Koestler's 13 Tribe, Who is Esau Edom? There are some Arabs that are Esau. Like I said, he has mingled his seed everywhere, you guys. So get this book as well. The Roman Empire, right? The Empire of the Edomite by William Beeston. This is a good book as well. Now, Israelis' $5 trillion secret. I'm going to be going through all these books during the series, but this is by Colonel Curtis B. Dahl, who is a vice presidential candidate and is also the first husband of Anna Eleanor Roosevelt, daughter of Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Eleanor Roosevelt, president, right? So this is scholarship where they talk about how much federal aid, US dollars, are going into this ish conspiracy, these Jewish people, and keeping them in power. So this, y'all got to read these books. And the final one that y'all might hear me reference is The Invention of the Jewish People by Shlomo Sam. Not only is he Jewish, but he is a Jewish geneticist, and he proves that the modern day Jewish people are linked to the Turkish Edomite Khazars that converted to Judaism. There is a lot of scholarship that those people in the land are not the aboriginal, indigenous, Canaanite, Israelite, Moorish people. They are not E1B. They are not the people, y'all. And there's so much evidence about that. The Bible prophecies, we're going to deal with Obadiah. We're going to deal with Malachi. We're going to deal with all of that, y'all. So get these books, get the Apocrypha. So you guys, get you guys an Apocrypha. Now I recommend that you guys, if you can, get yourself a Sefer Bible. The Sefer Bible not only has the Apocrypha, but it has the Book of Jasher in it. It has the Book of Enoch and a lot of that kind of thing. So get you guys a Sefer, because we're going to be going into the Book of Jasher, and I want you guys to be able to follow along the history of Esau. How did Esau become white people, right? Now I see some Israelites say that, you know, how did two twins, one is black and one is white? Well, we can explain that, but even if you argue that he was a black person, the scriptures are clear that his descendants ended up in Europe, became one with the children of Chittim. If you look up Chittim, Chittim is ancient Rome, right? So we're going to go through that history. Also, the Zondervan Bible Compact Dictionary. If you don't have a Zondervan, get yourself a Zondervan. It talks about, when you look at the definition of ruddy, that it is a fairer complexion in contrast to the dark skin of the Hebrews. The definition of Ham also tells you that Ham is the father of the dark races, not the Negro. So you guys get that book as well. The nations knew that the Negroes were a different people. We are a Shemitic people. Hitler himself knew that the Jews were a Shemitic or Afro-Asiatic people, right? So with that, y'all, peace, love, blessings, and black power to the chosen race of the Most High Yah. I love you guys with the love of Messiah. Shalom. All praises.